How was your all session so far? Yeah, got your coffee and ready for the next one. I love it.
So Wendy, Christy's with me, but she couldn't get in. So we're like tag
Hey,
teaming.
I love it. It's great.
It's good to see you. I hope you're feeling better.
Thanks. I finally am. Listen, I tell you, that COVID was not fun this time. Oh, it was rough.
Oh, COVID. No, not fun at all. Not fun at
Not at
all.
all.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to present later. So she'll just kind of
Oh, that's
watch.
that's good. Yeah. I know. Zoom's kind of being wonky today. I don't know. Sorry, guys. It's not fun to host a technology conference when it's kind of being, yeah. I apologize. But we will get through it.
The other session went way too fast. I wish we had like at least 30 more minutes with that guy. It was awesome.
What session was it, Alexandra?
That one was the one. Hold on, I don't want to mess up his. Forget Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of AI.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
me.
with Wiley. He's pretty
Yes,
awesome. Don't
that
tell him
was
I said
awesome.
so though, because his head will get big.
Oh, okay.
Already big enough. My head's already big enough. I already have to
I
work
know. We
small
can't
attached.
tell him he's awesome. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah, we need to do more of these. I agree. We need to have more sessions where you all just share your awesomeness. These are pretty cool. You know, they say there's lots of research that say the best PD is learning from the teacher down the hall. I love it. That's what this is. That's what this is. So sessions have went well so far. I love it. Here's another guy that's pretty awesome. We got Mr. Josh on. I see. Josh, I'm going to make sure that I have screen share for you. Yep. And I'll do a brief introduction and then we'll just let you roll with it. I'm so excited. So I told everyone in the last session and then we'll go with it. You know, at first I was like, why do I have all the 1 hour sessions? And then I realized they know me and then they know that I like to talk and they know I couldn't do an introduction for 30-minute sessions. So they're really smart. Yes, Katie, we will do just one we'll do one evaluation at the very end of the day. So they knew that I would cut into everybody's time, just trying to do small talk and chat. So they were like, we'll give Wendy 1 hour sessions. That way she'll cut into everybody's 1 hour session time because she can't do 30-minute sessions and keep on time. So I'm really excited about this session. I've been excited about all of them. And then secretly, we're not recording these sessions for anybody other than us as leaders because we were really excited about everybody that signed up to present. And I want to go back and watch all of these amazing sessions because I'm so proud. I secretly look at all of you all like, I'm your mom. I know that's kind of weird in a way, but like I look at you all and I think, oh my gosh, look, this is Josh. Oh, that's Wiley. And I hear you all bragging on Wiley did such an amazing job. So I secretly am like, oh, I'm your mom and I'm so proud of you all. And I got to brag on you. So I'm going to go back and watch these sessions because if you're in my grants or if you're in Jackie's grants, we kind of feel the same way. We're just really proud of you all. So this is another one that I'm really proud of is Josh. And I think about what amazing jobs you all must do in your classrooms each and every single day. So this session is Lights, Camera, Action, easy video production tips to increase student engagement. And this is a fantastic teacher. You're going to be learning from Mr. Josh Giles. He's in our Recharge Grant, and he teaches at Corbin Independent. And so I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to make sure he has screen share. And I'm super excited to learn about this and how you can use video production in your classroom. So Josh, take it away. We cannot wait to learn from you.
Well, good morning, and I bless each and every one of you for joining the next hour-long session when you had options for some of those other really good topics. I felt inferior when I was reading some of those other topics and seeing some of those other great presenters. And so thank you for joining. I've got a second screen that I'm going to look off to sometimes to check the chat. The first thing that I would like, if everybody don't mind putting in there, I'm streaming off an iPad right now. Can you all see me and hear me okay? If you could drop in the chat everything, the reason I'm on my iPad, I'm going to be streaming the iPad, is could you just let me know if you have access, not in this moment, but at some point in the classroom, do you have access to iPads? Because everything that we're going to be doing is based off the iPad. And if you don't, then I'm sorry. But the iPads, if you don't have access to them, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. I see a couple no's already coming in. And some people say just one. You just have one for something. iPads have really, you can get them cheap nowadays. They range. You can get really cheap ones. You can get really expensive ones. But I'm not a big Chromebook person. I think they're very limiting. I mean, there's a lot of good things about them, but listen, with the iPad, there's so many different apps and things out there that just allow students to be very creative and explore and add their own personalities to projects and different things that they do. And video production is one of those things that allows them to bring a little piece of themselves into the classroom, into the content, into when they're showcasing work that they've been doing. And we're going to talk about some of that creativity and ways that they can bring their personality into it today. If you do have an iPad, great. If you don't, I would definitely encourage you to look into one or ask your school to maybe purchase one. Again, you don't need a top of the line one to do this stuff. We're just going to look at just a couple of apps today. And you can also download these apps on an iPhone and do it. I just don't, the smaller screen is tough for me. And kids, when you're trying to manipulate that stuff with your fingers, look at recordings, videos and stuff and edit, it can be a little difficult on a phone. But it is possible. So you can do this on an iPhone as well. But I just do recommend the iPad. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And we'll talk about different apps, different things that you can use this for. Let me see. Y'all see that now? Okay. So first thing is I just want to, whoops, I don't want to copy that. I want to present it. The first thing that I want to talk about is just a couple of disclaimers with this. Number one, when you're doing video production, kids have access, they know how to use the internet, and they know how to access different videos and pull audio clips and different things like that. If you're going to publish this on YouTube or anything like that and make it publicly accessible, make sure that you're not using music and images and things that you're not available to use, you don't have permission to use. I know we all know this, but I do say that because we have in the past, I've had to not allow students to publish it, their work for the public to view because they've chosen a song or something like that we just don't have rights to. So if you want to publish these to where parents and the community can see this work, that's another great way about a thing about using video production is it's a great way to showcase your work and distribute it very easily to the community so that parents and other people, stakeholders, can see what students are learning and doing in the classroom. And so be aware of that. Like I said, I do recommend the iPad, but the focus today is looking at a couple of different apps called iMovie, Clips, and then if we have time to look at YouTube, we will. But we're going to focus on iMovie and Clips today. So what are some different ways that we can use video in the classroom? We're going to look at these 6 different things that I've used in the past. There's plenty more than ideas than this of how we can use video, in what context, in what ways. First and foremost is just simply a pre-recorded presentation. I know that we've done this for ourselves, probably, especially during COVID. Recorded some slides, done some voiceover work for it, and posted them for kids to view. Now, I've also used this from a student standpoint in making it the first step to help them learn how to give presentations. We have plenty of students who are very shy about getting in front of a group of people, even their peers, and giving any kind of presentation, speaking in public. This is a great first step. Whenever I have a student come to me and say, Mr. Giles, I promise you, if you put me up there, I'm going to puke. I say, well, then let's make a plan. Let's get to the point where by the end of the course, you can stand up in front of everybody confidently. And step 1 is, let's record this presentation. Let's just prove to ourselves we can do a presentation. We can then show it to the rest of the class. They can hear our voice and things like that, and it's okay. And so pre-recorded presentations are big confidence boosters, great first steps for students, and are an easy first way to get into videos. But moving past that, getting a little more advanced, assigning documentaries for students, and having them to do a research project and not just present it in a slideshow, not just present it in a in-class presentation or anything like that, but actually constructing a documentary where you're not having a bunch of words and images on the screen, where you're just narrating over slides and talking like I am, but you probably have a script that a student has written and worked on to narrate over top of video clips, images, primary sources, and things that they have collected and put in a timeline to form a documentary. This is a great way to showcase research. This is a great way for, and then again, to share it with other classmates in the community. One thing that I've used these for too is it's a great way to start building up a collection of resources for future classes. Maybe you start having students break apart different aspects of, say, I'm thinking of Great Depression. Maybe you're assigning the Great Depression and you want them to make some documentaries over that. Well, then in the future, let's say you're teaching the Great Depression, that subject, and snow day hits and it's in TI, you can pull up some previously made videos, documentaries from students, and have them be some of the learning materials that future students are accessing. So it can be a help to future you with these projects and things if you hold on to them. Doing interviews, and so they can, this is kind of, I view this as the next level of thinking, because now students aren't just taking fact-based information and presenting it in a documentary format, reading off a script. They've got to be a little more creative, and they've got to adapt that information and come up with what would a historical figure really say at this time. What if I was interviewing somebody? I'll give you an example of what I've done in the past. I've had them do interviews of the founding fathers and do an interview over Federalists versus anti-Federalists. Well, now instead of just reporting factual information about what the Federalists believe and what the anti-Federalists believe, they've really had to think about, well, what specifically, if I was going to interview Thomas Jefferson, what would he say? And now they're reading a lot of primary sources written by him, and trying to construct, well, how would he respond to this question? And especially you're getting into higher level thinking if you start saying, well, what would he say about a modern issue? And you take what he wrote 200 years ago and try to apply that to a situation that we're facing today that they had no clue about back then. And now they're having to construct these responses, cast someone to play that character, and they get to play these roles out, and do a little interview piece and present this information in a new way. I've done newscasts, which basically takes the past two formats and combines them because it's segmented. And so you can have that fact-based piece like a documentary and do a reporting segment. And then in the very next one, then do an opinionated interview style over that topic and bring in other voices to analyze what you presented in the first segment of the newscast. And so that combines the previous two to create something unique as well. Advertisement, you're now adding in students having to be very well planned and use persuasive language to convince of an argument. It's not so much now just either presenting what the Federalists think or trying to construct what Thomas Jefferson would say, but now convince others to believe what their arguments, that they do have stronger arguments, and using bandwagoning and other persuasive techniques to try to convince the audience of their issue. I've done this for historical issues. I've done it for modern issues. One of the very first projects that I do in my government course is they will pick a modern issue and they will create an advertisement about it. I let them do anything. It's the high school level. Not everybody feels comfortable doing that. But I let them talk about anything that they want to talk about. If they have strong opinions on abortion or marijuana usage or anything like that, I want them to learn how to have friendly debate, how to be able to stand up for what they believe in a way that is appropriate and respectful of other people's opinions. And they're going to do that through an issue-oriented ad. And so when they're filming, they've got to understand and reflect and say, how are people going to perceive the message that I'm trying to give them? Is the way that I'm constructing my message going to be offensive and turn people off? Or am I actually reaching across the aisle and trying to extend a hand to the other side? And so it gets them into those levels of thinking that they really need to, society as a whole today really needs to learn how to do. Advertisements, and then just storytelling, creating a movie, creating a film about a historical event and scripting it out, casting characters. I love giving them a historical fiction type assignment where I say, okay, you are living during World War II. I need you to construct the story of a soldier based off of actual events. I want you to do these readings, but I don't want you just to copy it one soldier's story and tell it like a documentary or a historical nonfiction piece. I want you to create your own story, tell his story based off of what really happened in World War II. What is a possible storyline of a soldier that can happen there? So then they get to create their own story. But they're still showing me they understood what happened in that event and the significance of that event by the story that they're crafting. And so just a few different ways that they can do that and that they can share their ideas. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show actually how to record some of these things and how to piece these things together and make a little movie magic. So the first thing is when you first get on your phone or an iPad, you've got the basic camera app, which is fine, but it's not going to allow us to do anything advanced other than really record a video. Where the magic happens is either in the Clips app, the iMovie app, and there's a variety of other apps out there that students use, but these two are free. They have no ads. I don't worry about pop-ups or anything like that. So I like these two here. So when I open up the Clips app, that's what I'm going to use first. Is you're going to see here that I've got some tools kind of surrounding me, different things that I can use. The number one thing that I would recommend just for the quality purposes is up here in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see this little series of boxes, that's going to allow me to change my aspect ratio of what I'm recording. Always recommend to my students, please make sure everything that you're doing and recording is consistently the same aspect ratio. Otherwise, you're going to get really choppy videos and segments, and it's not going to look really good. It's not going to be appealing. And if it's not an appealing visual, your audience can very quickly become disconnected. But whatever you choose, stay in that aspect ratio, and then you can record. The good thing about the Clips app is because as I record or drop images in, down here at the bottom, this black space bar down here, all my clips are going to be put down there. So as I'm recording my different pieces, my timeline is being created, and I can edit and trim and cut and put effects in as I go. And so it kind of merges the camera app and an editing app into the same thing, with some neat little creative things to play with. Over here with the pink reddish bubble, if you start to hold that in, then that is where you can record. I can swipe to lock it in so that I don't have to sit there and touch onto keep my finger on the screen, and I can record whatever I want to. Front facing camera, back camera, you've got those options there. But as soon as I stop, it should have, it didn't, but it should have appeared here at the bottom. I'll try that again real quick. Well, it's not. I will pull up a project I did yesterday. Hopefully y'all can still see this. So yesterday I was playing with trying to get some clips together just in case this didn't work. So if I had a clip that appears here from at the bottom, it should appear here at the bottom, and then I can click on it and I can go ahead and start editing that clip. The clip here that I have, I used an effect. If I click on the effect, if I have audio in that clip, I can go over here to live text, live titles, and it's going to transcribe what I'm saying at the bottom of the screen, which is very good to if for students who maybe have hearing issues or just like having that text at the bottom for them to hear. That is good for them. So I'll show you a preview here if it'll play. Well, I don't know why I don't want to work today. Either way, you've just got these different options that you can play with. We all know what subtitles are. You can select different text boxes and pull up different things. This is where you can get that layover text, like if they want to transition to a scene that they're going through different points of the time of day. I can add to the top of my screen, okay, it's 10 o'clock a.m. or change the text here. And these little things, as I would play in my timeline, they appear on top of the screen as I play my different clips. They've got different things that you can actually track with your face. It's got the facial recognition feature, so I could click on these different stickers and things, and they can have fun and put different things on top of their face. And as you move, as your face moves across the screen, those things would actually track and follow along with you, so that if I wanted special effect feature, let's see if this will at least work today. Let's say I want some ears. Can y'all see that? You'll see that I can pinch and zoom in, try to get it to where it's my size, track it onto my face. So as I move around the screen, I now have ears. Now I know that may not be something that, there's tons of different little things in there. I don't know why they would need that, but it's there. All sorts of different things depending on the video that they want to create. If they just want to have fun and do different things, they can even have emojis, track emojis. If I wanted to, I could change my whole face and put that emoji right on that face or on my face, and it would track again with my head. And then that is I guess my face for the day. That's how Now that technology is not working like it was yesterday, that's how I feel. So that could be my face for the rest of this presentation if I wanted it to. So that just some different features, and that's what I like about this app. This is the first app that I actually get kids using, whether it's on their phone. And if you are using phones, I would definitely recommend this app over iMovie because it's a lot easier to use on the iPhone than iMovie is. But all these different clips that I would be recording, they would appear at the bottom here. I can also add different photos from my library. Maybe they've went on the internet and there's a video that they want to show or a image. You can add those as well. And you saw there before, and you can do all the same different effects and things with editing images in here and adding them to your video. But you notice that it added to my timeline. If I had my video, I can trim it, I can split it, I can go in here and decide where in my video that I want to make that split. Maybe there was something I was talking about there and I was like, oh man, students would really love to have seen what I was talking about. So I'm going to, instead of re-recording and everything, I'm going to split that clip. And then I'm just going to drag and drop and manipulate my timeline to where whatever it was that I was wanting them to see is right there in the midst of the video. And once I hit play, it would go through that sequence. So it's just it's an easy app to get into if you're not used to this stuff or students aren't and they're new to it, to get things rolling. And then the publishing is very easy too. They just hit the share button and they can you can save it and it's already in a file together. You can upload it to Drive. You can put it straight on Google Classroom if you got the app on there. Do whatever you want to do. So the sharing on here, the exporting, the editing, everything is just simplified and an easy first step into video production to make these ads. I will say that this is the one that I use for that issue-oriented ad that I mentioned before. Students just, it's just simple and easy. So you also, I don't know if you noticed when I was doing photos, maybe you want to voice over the photo or edit the photo before you put it in there. So if I clicked on that photo and instead put preview and record, then I can start recording audio over top of that image or the clip or whatever I've brought in there so that it's not silent. If I want some background music in here, I can also go up in the upper right-hand corner with the music icon. And if you've purchased songs through iTunes, you can use those. If you're like me and subscribe to Apple Music, then you cannot use Apple Music in this. But if you purchased on iTunes, then you can use that song. Otherwise, you can go to soundtracks, and all of these songs that are on here are very good quality music that they can put in the background of their videos to just kind of enhance the production of and quality of their video and have light background music. So all sorts of different things you can add. Again, you've got video, you got images, you've got voiceover, you've got background music, easy export, all these fun graphics and live text, titles, filters, emojis, bunch of different ways that they can express themselves and be creative in video production with just this one app. Okay, so this is a great starting point, great place to go to. But I do want to get into some advanced things too, and looking at some fun things that students always enjoy, such as using green screens. And now green screens, don't freak out and say, oh man, you're asking me to spend more money. I'm not. Most of us probably also have at school those rolls, giant rolls of colored paper. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. You just tear the sheets of paper off. You can literally take that green paper and use it. And that's all I do is I roll off those green sheets of paper, I tape it on a wall, and we record in the background. That is our background. And so it's free. Well, the school pays for it. and you've got that green screen in the backdrop. You tear off that paper, make that green screen as large as or small as you want it to, fully customizable to you. And so you just want to be careful when you're using green screens. You don't want to wear green, otherwise you will disappear. Unless that's the point of the video. I have had students who have been very creative, and they've needed to be, I don't know. Well, I'll just mention one. One of them, they were in the middle of war and they lost a limb, so they put on a green sleeve and filmed the rest of their video. That sounds kind of morbid, but I mean, they weren't grotesque and showed blood and all that stuff. We did that, but this is the high school level, and we got away with that. But they can go as far and be as creative as they want to with this green screen stuff. But my purpose of the green screen is just changing your background. We're just going to do that. So that's where we're going to jump over into the iMovie. And so with iMovie, this is where we can do a little more advanced work. And so you've got a timeline and all sorts of different editing tools and features that you can use here that's not in the other app. If I go down here, I've got some different things that will help me get started, start a new project. I've got storyboard, I've got movie, I've even got this magic movie feature. We're not really going to discuss that because that's not, it does it for you. Just puts a bunch of clips and videos that you select into basically a nice little video over images. We don't want that because we want the voiceover. We want students to, at least most of these projects, you're going to want them to voice over. That's how they're going to share their information. It's not just a collection of images. So we're not going to mess with that one. But for storyboard, this is a great first start in this app, because when you click on storyboard, you can scroll through and they've already got templates for you based off of what your video is about, what you want to do in that video. Maybe you are making a film. Maybe they're doing that historical nonfiction piece that I was talking about. They could click on film. If they were wanting to do a book report, here's a book report or a news report. If they wanted to showcase a science experiment they're doing, and all about me, whatever that is. Here's the Q&A if they want to create that interview style. Whatever that is, they've got tons of different templates here. And once you click on one, if we just say beginning of the year, I want them to make a quick all about me video so that we can watch these in class. You can click on that, click create, you'll preview here of what that's going to look like. And it's already going to create a storyboard for you. And all they have to do is add the clips, follow the directions and add the clips. So it makes it very easy for someone who's new to the app. It says at the beginning, we need to know who. And so your first shot needs to be a medium shot. They show you in the title exactly what a medium shot looks like. Here's where you should be placed and how much of you we should see in that shot. And in it, just introduce yourself. And so they can create a little 30-second clip introducing themselves in that shot, hit add once they've recorded it, and drop that right in there. Repeat that process for each of these things. What do you do on a typical day? Show a moment of yourself in action. Maybe that's where they play a sport. They take a clip of them playing that sport and drop it in there. Whatever it may be, they fill that in. At the end, when they're finished, it will compile all those together, and they've got a really nice video with background music, all about whatever the topic is. So this makes it easy as well for people who are just starting, is going through storyboards, all those templates, and they each do something different. So you go to the Q&A, it's going to be specifically for reformatted for if you're going to do an interview with somebody. Okay, introducing the guest, what is your question, putting their answers in here, and all sorts of different things like that. So each of them, and they're customizable. They're not so strict and rigid that you have to do what they are. You can, if I was in the storyboard and wanted to do a book report, a video book report, and there's something in here that I don't need, I can delete it. Just swipe and delete if I don't need that section, or maybe there's a section in here that I would like in there that's not in here. I can click add, and I can add different sections and modify this template myself, and it's fully customizable. But if we want to, from scratch, make something completely unique, completely ours, and use those green screen effects, we're just going to go over here to movie. And if I want to do this green screen effect, I want to start with the background image. I do not want to drop my video in. I've already pre-recorded a video, me using that green paper, but I want to start with the background. So I want to start here at the house. I'm just going to select the image I want, and I'm going to hit create movie. It's going to drop that in here, and you see that you've got some different spaces on this screen. On the upper left-hand side, I've got my footage. This is a preview of my footage. I'm going to watch it play as I move along my timeline. My timeline is this space below. I can just scroll across. You see, as I scroll, my preview of the video up here moves along with it. And then over here on the upper right-hand corner, I've got the media section that I can access if I want to drag and drop extra videos, extra photos, and things that I've saved, or even audio. There's those same free soundtracks. If you want to drop in from the other app some background audio, you can do that as well, free within the app. So any kind of media I want to drop in, I'm over here in the media box. You'll notice that when I drop a still image in there, as I slide across, you've got to pan across that image. That's great if I'm doing the documentary. They call that Ken Burns, the famous documentarian. Is that what you call him? Created this style so that the image isn't still. It's not as boring. It pans across the screen to bring the image a little more to life. But if that's great if I'm assign them a documentary. If I want it as my background, I don't want it shifting behind me. And so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go up here where it says Ken Burns enabled, and I'm going to touch that and get that turned off so that as I scroll across and the video is playing, that background is still. But now that I've got my background, I'm going to go back up here and drop in my video. So I'm going to click video. I want to find that recent video with my green screen. I do not need to just hit the plus button and add. If I do that, it's going to add it and have it play in sequence after the video, but I want it overlaid on top of that image. So I'm going to click the three dots, and that's where all of this magic will come in. I can do a couple of different things here with multiple videos and images. I can do picture in picture, which is where if they are going to do a presentation and you want them to be seen in that presentation, not just heard, you could easily do something like that to where they record their presentation, have the slides show in the background, and then have them present it that way. Again, fully customizable. I can move my image wherever I want to be. I can add a border, take away a border, whatever I need to do. So that's one way that I can bring in multiple videos. I'm going to delete that because we want to utilize that green screen. I can also split the screen, so I got two things showing side by side, but we're going to go down here to green and blue screen. You probably don't want to wear blue either, depending on, you can use green or blue for these changing your backgrounds, but you just don't want to wear those two colors unless it's intentional. So I want to hit that, and once it comes in here, you see that my background changes. Okay, something that we may be more used to, and is done without that green paper, thanks to Zoom and things like that after COVID. But for video production, we still have to have that green screen. So as they're crafting this, if they want to get fancy, I want to show you a couple of editing techniques so that they can do some neat things in here as well. As they are going through this, you may want them to, may want to do something where someone appears or disappears. All I'm going to do is click on my video with the green screen background, and I'm going to trim my video. So that maybe for some reason in the plot or in the story, I need someone to appear. And so if I trim that video to where my image starts before my video, when I play it, at some point, I'm just going to snap appear. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second with, if I've got it timed really well. Let me see. I want to extend this clip. I'm just going to drag and drop it out. If I've got it timed very well, there's a point in this video where I snap. So right there. And you'll notice that white line, that bar, that's going to show me where in that video I'm currently at watching. And with the edits, I can get very clever. And what I can do is I can trim that video back to that point and then drop in a new background. And I'm going to teleport. Well, I'll do it this way. Made that image way too long. So here is my, nope, I want to, okay, there's the snap. So I need to trim just a little bit more. Snap a little bit more. And this is just where the time consuming piece comes. And well, I say time consuming, but it's not too awful bad. I'm going to go back here and add a different backdrop. Let's go to photos. And let's move to the beach. I'm going to add that picture in there. I don't want to crossfade. When I'm teleporting, we know when we've watched videos and movies in the past, when you teleport, you just teleport. You don't really phase per se, at least not in the movies I've seen. So we're going to click on this transition. Anytime you're bringing in different clips and films, right there in the between each clip, you're going to have a little box that you can click on, and you can do different transitions. And so if I want that to fade from one to the other, I can. If I want it to slide one to the other, I can. I can do all these different transitions from piece to piece, video to video, image to image that I want to. Very useful, again, for transitioning from one scene to the other, or one slide to the other, but image to the other. But I'm transporting, and I'm still technically, because the person, right, the central figure is the same, I'm still in the same scene. And so I want to put that as none, so that when I snap, I've got that a little late right there. I want to expand that. Nope, I expanded too much. Drop it back down. When I snap, hopefully the background changes. So let's go back and see if this will play. It's probably a little jumpy for you all because of Zoom, but I snap, I change my background, I teleported. Now I like doing this and showing students this feature whenever they are doing, in my geography class, we do world travel videos. And so in these videos, they're supposed to basically be a travel agent and show different places around the world. The point of that video is there's obviously some certain requirements of showing me their geography, different landforms, features, cultural aspects of the people, things that we've talked about in the 5 themes of geography. They have to pull out each of those 5 themes in the place, the country that they are researching, and then turn that into a production where they're basically the travel agent and showing everybody, hey, come here and explore these 5 themes of geography in Italy, in Russia, in wherever. And so they use these different transitions here to transport themselves to different parts of Italy or wherever that it may be that they're doing. I'll show you real quick. I've got an example. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it or not. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. But by the time we've spent doing all this, I don't look really too happy right there. I'm sorry. I'll get
Wanna
happier
escape?
here in just a second in the video. You see that there's now multiple layers on that video, because what I've done in this one, a completed version, is I've got different places. I've got those transitions for me to teleport multiple times. Over here on the left side of the screen, you see a microphone. I can record. Great way to use those. I do recommend, now that many of us have different podcasting equipment. Thanks to Charge and KDEC, you can use these microphones to greatly enhance the audio quality of these video productions as well. And so you can hit record. You can plug in one of those microphones, and you can record over that video. And then I dropped in a little piece of background music that was free inside of the app. So if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up once I hit play, see if you can hear the audio on the that's playing.
Want to escape your boring home and
Okay.
go on an exotic vacation? Hey, buddy. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You want to go on a vacation? All right. Well, where would you like to go? Think good and hard now. You've only got one choice. You know where it's at? The beach. Nice choice. A lot of different beaches to choose from, but nope, you're rethinking it. Where would you like to? Europe. That would be a great destination. Why don't you book it today?
And so that was cheesy and not my best, but I did this yesterday evening, and students would obviously have a whole lot more that they would put into the video in terms of requirements and guidelines that I gave to them. The video would be much longer. I usually put a cap on it, though. We don't want to sit there and watch a 30 minutes. There's some kids that are super creative, put a lot of work into it, and could give me a 30-minute video over a country, and we just don't have that kind of time. I do usually put a cap on it, and it depends on the project and what we're doing. Something like this, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes. That's all that we need for a travel video on the 5 themes of geography, so that we have enough time to watch all the videos in class, celebrate everybody's work. But it also challenges the students to take information and condense it in a way that is digestible, in a way that convinces the audience that, yes, I do need to go there. Because what we also learn in this are those persuasive techniques, how to share with other people ideas and convince them in a short amount of time. In today's day and age, a lot of people don't want to sit and watch a 30-minute video over Italy before they make that decision. They want to know right now, do I want to go? And you got to get them that information very, very quickly. So I limit their videos. I have had in my economics class, I'm a big Shark Tank guy. I love watching Shark Tank. I get in trouble watching Shark Tank because then it makes me want to buy things that I really don't need. And so on Shark Tank, people, if you've not watched it, people present products and hopefully get an investment. And I've got a whole project that we do in my economics course where students create their own products, and then they have to pitch it to the rest of the class, who are the sharks, and try to get investments. I give them so much money they can invest, but through their pitch, they have to show me all the different things we've learned about the business side of economics, and their price and their profit margin, and how much they can manufacture it for, and what's reasonable, looking at supply and demand. Where can they manufacture? Do they have enough demand? Who is their target customer? Do they have enough demand to justify that product? And all sorts of different things. Point being, they also have to create a commercial in that project to convince people to buy it. I had one, I'm just going to brag on a group as an example of a transition. They did really well. They took this assignment. I'm testing them over economics, but they were invested because I didn't just give them a worksheet or anything like that. They were a video production, and they got to create anything they wanted to show me the economic standards I was trying to get. And they were tennis players. They love tennis. And so that's what they brought into their video. So they created a product. They said, we have a problem with referees. Referees don't know how to call the ball. whenever they are. Now, I'm not saying they don't. This is their words, not mine. But they said referees have a problem of determining when the ball is in and out. There's a fine line right there, whether or not the ball is in or out. And so they come up with their product was a ball that could sense the perimeters of the court and would change colors if it bounced out of bounds of those lines. And so in order to, they couldn't create the product. They didn't have the resources, the money, the time to create something like that. It is a good idea. But they made a video, and because of editing, production, and techniques, it looked like they had a working product. Because they went out to the tennis courts, they started playing tennis. They filmed a shot with one ball going out of bounds, and they filmed a shot with a second ball, different color, going out of bounds. They split those two clips together and put the split perfectly to where as soon as that ball hit the ground out of bounds, it changed color. And so it looked to the rest of the class like they had a working product. And now everybody's like, ooh, oh, wow, and really interested in this. And now they're assessing this product. It has credibility, and they're looking at, they've now been convinced to do what I want them to do and analyze that product from a business perspective, an investor's perspective. Is this a worthy investment for me? How much should I invest in this? Do I think that they've got everything figured out to actually sell this to customers? So it's really nice. It's really cool to use video production to make students bring a piece of themselves into what we're learning and really own it. It honestly changes the game when you're willing to take the time to let them do these kind of things. And when they watch it, they can walk away with something they're proud of that is uniquely them. And it's so creative that and entertaining that when we start playing these videos, it's just a great time in class. And they don't realize they're learning. They don't realize that they're doing exactly what I need them to do. As I'm walking around and I'm listening to them record their different videos or plan their projects, they're using the vocabulary I need them to use. They're talking about the concepts that I need them to talk about, and they don't even realize it because they've masked it in something that they're interested in. So it's really fun, really cool. We could go in depth with some other things as well. I've got plenty of other strategies and things that we can look at. I've got speaking of, and let's see if I've got it here. I thought I had it, one of them here. Anyway, they can go back and with these different editing splits and techniques, you can do slow motion replays and put some comedy effects in there of what's going on. Students always love to have little bloopers at the end of times that they messed up their recordings, and you get laughs out of that. It's all good fun, and I love it. Students love it. It's a great way too, as long as you've crossed your T's, dotted your I's in terms of what you have permission to use the music and the thing in there. It's such a wonderful way to engage with the community. I know at the high school level, it becomes more difficult to engage with the community. You don't really send out parent letters and things and maybe that don't even happen anymore. I don't know, but it's just hard to engage with parents at the high school. This makes it super easy because you can just publish these on a YouTube page. Parents can follow and they can watch what their students are doing, listen to what they're learning, and be proud of something that they've accomplished and hold on to it and save it. Have something that they can take and say, this is what my kid did. Share it on Facebook and post it with the rest of the community. So with that, that felt rushed to me. Maybe that was awful to you. I apologize. So I'll open it up to questions or anything that.
Josh, I do see that you have a couple questions. Like Sarah has a question for you in the chat. Is this a free app that kids could download on their app? Is it restricted to Apple? And then question about, is this on the computer, iPhone, or tablet? Have you ever done this with Canva? So I'm going to let you kind of address some of those before we go. Does Google have anything comparable?
All this was on an iPad. You can do this. The iMovie is available on a MacBook if you have a MacBook. And if you're comfortable, if you have one and you're comfortable with students using it, I'll let students use my devices. I bring them in. That's just me. And I'll let them use it. It's available on iPhone, but they are Apple-made apps. They are free on Apple devices, but because they are Apple-made apps, they're only on Apple devices, and that's why I made that disclaimer at the beginning. That's the only unfortunate part. I'm an Apple guy, and so I have not really looked at. I know they're out there. I've just not used any of the Google apps that are on Android or anything. There are editing apps that and things that you can use on Chromebook. They're just very hard to find, and they're not very responsive because where the Chromebooks are internet based, you're basically having to use an internet app, and video editing on the internet is not that fun. I've not done it on Canva. I know that Canva has some editing tools, but I've not used that side of Canva. I've used the presentation and the document side of Canva. This is just what I'm used to, and so I've never ventured over there. I would like to, so unfortunately, I can't help with that. And speaking of, I will drop quickly in the chat this right here. If you're, I'm an Apple guy because of the power of these apps. I have never found on the Chromebooks and things apps that are capable of doing some of the things that are, and I could be totally wrong, and I've just not searched for the correct things. But if you'll go to education.apple.com and you've got access to that iPad, there's a whole community here of people who post what they do and how they use these devices to really inspire students to be creative with students that are new, that are unique, that are very different. I'll show you a couple of things here. Posts that I saw from teachers. Here's an English teacher who had students write poems. And as they wrote poems, they then created a video and using the green screens and things were able to add a visual aspect to their poem and maybe help visualize some metaphors and things that they were writing inside of their poems. This isn't just for social studies. I've seen, here's one where in science, they've done weather maps and taken green screens to talk about different climate variables in a weather news format. Here's a math one. Again, going back and talking about creating those videos that you can then share with future students, where they had students who would create tutorial videos over what they learned in math. Great review resource as they create these videos. Maybe you divide a unit and say, I need you to cover this topic, and this group covered this topic. And then you've got a whole set of review videos that they can use before a test. And then again, pulling those for the next year to help teach future sets of students. And you can use it yourself. Here's one of the principal who used it for reminders of school routines and things. So it's a great community. It's a great way to find some of these different ways to use Apple products. But yeah, unfortunately, what I have used and created with this is an Apple-centric approach to this. Did I miss a question?
I think you got it. That was wonderful. Josh, thank you so very much. This was wonderful. I know there's lots of thank yous. This was wonderful. Lots of people that are excited to try it. So thank you all so much for attending this session. Josh, thank you for your hard work. I know it's super inspiring. If you can get high school kids excited to share, as a mom of some high schoolers, well, one now that's out of high school, but if you can get my 15, almost 16-year-old daughter excited to share, kudos to you. So that's awesome. That's really exciting. So I will tell you all, we are almost at our 1 hour left remaining in EdTech Unleashed. I don't know about you all, but so far the sessions have been amazing. So I know in this Zoom room, we have one session remaining, EdTech tools for the techie. And then there are 2 30-minute sessions remaining. So I know this session was amazing. So we do have maybe a minute so you can go grab a potty break if you need to, grab you a cup of coffee, or coffee's probably too late at this point, but grab you a Coke, water, whatever. And we'll see you in the remaining hour. So thanks, Josh, so much. Y'all can join your next Zoom.